Welcome to the coolest stuff on the planet.
Welcome to the coolest stuff on the planet. My name is Matthew, of course, and this is Rachel.
Hello.
She's now an editor here at How Stuff Works.
But they know that already.
I know, but we don't get to see her anymore in the fishbowl with the video team, and it's sad. So it's good to see you.
Matt's heart is broken.
Yeah, well, it's really good to see you.
Good to see you too, stranger.
And let's get right into this. What's going on today, Rachel?
We're doing the most, I think, quintessentially Roman topic that we possibly could, the Colosseum.
Absolutely. So first thing we're going to do is take you back into ancient history. Way back to almost the zero on the timeline. So the construction of the Colosseum began under the reign of Emperor Vespasian of the Flavia family, and that's important for later. Now his son, Emperor Titus, oversaw the completion of the construction and officially opened the Colosseum in the year AT, that's 80 AD.
That's hard to say.
It is, it's 80 AD. Now officially, the Colosseum was and is still named the Flavian Amphitheater, after its founder's family, like we said before. Now in the Middle Ages, people started calling this place the Colosseum, and there are a couple different reasons why that might have happened. One of the main theories is because there was an enormous 105-foot statue of Emperor Nero that stood right next to the Flavian Amphitheater.
Ah.
And that would make sense to name the huge structure next to it the Colosseum.
Makes sense.
By the way, that statue, you're probably wondering, hey Matt, what are you talking about? There's no statue there. That's because it got destroyed.
The Colosseum, as I'm sure most of you know, was this massive arena which was used to stage these really terrible barbaric entertainments for the people of Rome. So you had the fights between gladiators, fights between wild animals, usually exotic animals, and fights between gladiators and animals.
Something that doesn't get mentioned enough, I think, it is a new vocabulary word, namekiae.
Namekiae.
These are mock naval engagements that occurred inside the Colosseum. Check this out. So the Colosseum would get flooded, the ground would be flooded up to, I think it was a maximum of 5 feet, which is actually a lot because there's a lot of underworkings of the Colosseum that also got flooded. But it's not enough, that's not deep enough to float an actual warship or a large ship, so they use these tiny scaled down models of ships.
Baby warship. So architecturally, the Colosseum was a very well-built structure, but as you can imagine over the centuries, it suffered some damage.
A little bit.
Earthquakes, neglect. It was used as a quarry for current buildings at the time. So a lot of the more interesting features have disappeared, or at least the more ornamental features. The building, for example, it used to have beautiful decorations. It had bronze shields at the top. It had marble seats. It had murals, lots of marble going on.
One thing that you will not find, but you can see the remnants of it, it's called the Valerium.
Valerium.
This is an ancient sail-like sunshade that used to go on top of the Colosseum itself. And if you look at the pictures of the Colosseum, on the very tippy top, on the parts that remain, you can see it looks like a tiny ledge that's coming out, and then there's a little hole at the very top. And you can see where these masts used to go in, just these big wooden masts. And attached to these masts would be this Valerium.
And for a frame of reference on those masts, by the way, those were tree trunks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So imagine the scale of this,
So you can kind of think of it as a great to the 10th power grandfather of the modern domed stadium. The purpose is kind of the same. It's to protect people inside from weather and to shade from the sun.
Kind of reminds me of the retractable ones you have today.
Yeah, exactly.
But, I mean, a little more low tech.
A little less convenient. According to ItalyGuides.it, it took 100 sailors from the Imperial fleet to move this thing, and they had to move perfectly timed together to the beat of a drum so that it wouldn't tear and rip.
Another part of the Colosseum that you wouldn't have been able to see in Roman times, but that you can see today, is a little thing we like to call the Hypogeum.
So the Hypogeum is a large, huge underground space of tunnels and chambers that the stagehands and the slaves would work and basically make all the magic happen for visitors of the Colosseum. So if you imagine the cages where the lions and the tigers and the bears would be held, they would be held underneath the Colosseum itself. And then when the gladiator was ready to triumphantly beat a bear, say, the slaves and the workers down below in the Valerium would use this winch or use a series of ropes. There were a bunch of different things that they had down there they could move, but it would raise a cage up, and then the bear would jump out, and it looks like he just comes out from the floor of the Colosseum.
So even though the Colosseum is not in the best shape of its life. It's still pretty neat that we have what remains left.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's this fun quote I found about, I'll paraphrase, but it was basically, when the Colosseum falls, Rome falls.
Whoa.
So this is clearly an important monument.
But see, it didn't work because it's still there.
It's not.
It hasn't fallen yet. Rome did.
That's true.
Well, that's it, guys. If you want to check out more, go to howstuffworks.com. We've got plenty of stuff on Rome in general, also on the Colosseum. You can check out some cool articles there. And I think that's about it, guys. Come on back for coolest stuff. You know, we always have it. Right, Rachel?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, all right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
For more on this and thousands of other topics, visit howstuffworks.com and let us know what you think. Email travelpodcast@howstuffworks.com. Don't forget to check out our other podcasts, free on iTunes.